My
Co-host
co-host,
is
you're
fine.
good
Her
there.
co-host,
Yep.
beautiful.
And we'll be
And let me
streaming
know
in
when it's
about
streaming.
five
Broker
seconds.
update. No problem. What a great week. What that was awesome. Ellen, I love it. And I love that when you think about that Trump plan for kids, and then I love the 401k matching thing that he's doing for non-employees. It's a beautiful thing to, hey, love them or hate them. It's a brilliant idea because investment mentality, 40% of Americans don't have access to a 401k. And he's saying, let's get them access to a 401k. It won't be called a 401k, I don't think, but you'll be able to invest a certain amount of money and the government will match up to $1,000 of that. So you put in two, they put in one. And, 20 years old, that's worth a lot of money by the time you're 65. If you do that every year, that's brilliant. I love it. Better than Social Security, and it's investment mentality. Everyone feels like everyone's in the stock market. Most people aren't in the stock market. Are we live, McGuire?
We are.
All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Welcome everybody. David Rutz here, David Allen Capital, doing the broker update. Just watched Ellen win, just knocked the cover off the ball as she always does. And I'm glad you're here, whether you're watching this live or and YouTube. We encourage you come watch it live because then you can ask questions, get follow up, grab a pencil and paper if you don't already have one. Hopefully you show up with one. I'd rather you be looking down at your notepad, taking notes than watching Ellen, right? You need to be able to write down what she says. That's good stuff, or whoever's talking. So it's okay if you want to turn your video off so you can take notes. We love seeing you, but don't worry about having to stare at the camera all the time. If you're getting good nuggets, and Ellen just gave a bunch of great nuggets, and I've got some updates for you, and I got a little section I want to go through for setting everyone up as we bring this month to a close. So let me share my screen first of all, which has got some slides on it, just so I can stay um, all right, McGuire, do you see the broker updates screen?
Perfectly clear. Yep.
All right, cool. Thank you. Broker updates. So, did it switch to a blank screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sometimes when I select just Keynote, it doesn't advance. So here's the
Yep.
first broker updates, everybody. If this is your first broker update call, glad you're here. We wanted to let you know our call volume is going up, which is a good thing at support. But we're encouraging you to use the ticket system. If people leave a voicemail and don't verify their identity, we can't do any homework prior. We can't assume you are Joe Blow just because you say, hey, I'm Joe Blow. The ticket system from your back office is the most efficient way. It tracks history, so a different support person can come in and help work a project that you've already started. We've got a signature there. We don't get that on a phone call. All right. So there's no way to track that notes very well. So please use the ticket system from your back office where you can go in and contact support there, fill out your information. You're already logged in. So we already have verified you are Joe Blow, and we already know your broker ID. We already have your email address. We've already confirmed you are who you say you are. That takes a lot of time off the phone call dialogue, right? Also, we're not going to overstaff people. So that means if someone's on the phone already, they don't put it on hold to take your call. There's a few people taking calls, but if they're all on the phone, which many times they are, they send it to voicemail. And now they are playing, whack-a-mole, calling you back. You're not answering. So it's not efficient at all. And the only way to offset that is to hire a lot more people. Well, you can't hire a lot more people when you've already got fixed costs pretty high, when you're giving a free business away and you're supporting people for free. So I'm encouraging you all, every one of you, please use the ticket system. It's the most effective way for us to support everyone. You don't have to, but we're encouraging it. Doesn't mean you can't call, but please, if it can be done through the ticket system, please do it there. You'll get a fast response. And then there's a signature on our side. Giggle status update emails. Giggle has introduced a new system. And because of that, you're not getting status updates right away via email. You used to get banks link, bank didn't link. You'd get things like that. Those are turned off right now on their new updated system. There's going to be improvements for us, including Spanish. So now if they click Spanish on our site and they go to Giggle, they're going to get to a Giggle Spanish site. So that's awesome news. That is already taking place. So good news on that. I'm not sure our link is live yet, but I think it is. Tyler was working on that, and I believe it's already live as of like 5 or 6 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. But so Spanish is now all size businesses, Giggle and up. They'll get a Spanish website, but you're not going to get status update emails for probably about a month. Unfortunately, their new system has to be rebuilt to send out status updates to our brokers. We're the only ones who have this situation with them because we're the only one who have independent brokers referring clients to them. So they had a choice: not launch the new system or launch it, and which includes better offers, includes better underwriting, includes higher offers. And they were able to show us their average client who does renew will renew 2.9 times in their first year. So they end up getting about 75% of revenue to 90% of revenue when you think about it in a year. If you're doing under $15,000 or around $15,000 with Bank Breezy, you're probably only going to get about 7,500 to 10,000. You're probably only going to get about 75%. So some people are getting more money through Giggle over a year than they could get going through Bank Breezy because they're at that 10 to 15 to $20,000 monthly range, which sometimes if average daily balance is low, they're only getting approved for 50%, and it's a 9-month term. They can't renew. And so you end up getting more money through Giggle. We're not encouraging you to send them to Giggle or anything like that, but don't be dismayed if they go to Giggle and they only get a $2,200 thing, because they're probably going to get $2,200 more in 90 days and $2,200 more in 90 days and 2.9 times. And the offer goes up each time. On average, if sales stay the same, they give more. So they go from 25% to 30 to 35%. And they're actually doing up to, what is it, Morgan? I think they're doing $15,000 now, all the way up to 20,000 in renewals. And in fact, I think they're doing up to 30,000 in renewals if your volume's there. So you're not going to get status emails, unfortunately, right now. We'll still tell you when they're funded. You'll get emails from us that we sent them to Giggle, but we don't have the automated emails from Giggle going out right now. In fact, they stopped about 2 weeks ago. So we haven't had anyone complain about it. But it did stop about 2 weeks ago. We just learned of that yesterday. It was unfortunately a miss on their part and our part to know that, because no one had mentioned it to us yet. So we didn't know until they told us. So we're going to get that resolved as soon as possible. But unfortunately, that's not taking place right now. First Tuesday of the month, next Tuesday, we got our broker overview, 8 p.m. Eastern. Everybody write down 8 p.m. Eastern. And then that's going to be 8 to 8:40. I'll be doing that. 8 to 8:30, 8:40 possibly. And then we're going to go 8:40 to 9:30 special guests. And then we're going to do 9:30 to 10 for questions. So it's an 8 to 10. We really want to be done by 10. We'll never shut off questions, but that means we got to be done by 9:30 with the content. So we have 30 minutes of Q&A. Last month, we went 20 minutes over on that. We're going to do better this month to keep it in and out by 9:30. So if you don't have questions, you can leave. But I will say many times the questions bring a lot of great new content, because the questions, if one person has it, many do. End of the month is coming up. So what does that mean? Well, if you know our comp plan, then you know you're qualified at the end of this month for what you're paid on the 15th of next month on all your team's fundings in the month of February. So March 15th, we pay the 5-level pay on March 15th. So the personal commissions and override spread are paid the day we get paid, the day after we get paid. So those are paid every day we send those out. Some of you got paid today on a funding that we got paid on yesterday, right? So those go out every day, the override spread and the personal commission every day. However, the 5-level pay doesn't go out except the 15th of the month, and it's for the prior months, and it's based on where you're qualified at the end of the month. If you don't know this, go watch the comp plan training or read the comp plan details in your back office. But end of the month is big because, as an example, if you're a certified broker, you get paid no matter what, 4% on anyone you personally enrolled. Do you know how many people right now are referral partners and have someone who got a funding this month? And they're not going to get the 4% because they're not certified. They just got to go through the training and get 3 hours of videos and pass some tests, and they're certified. They can do it, but they got to be certified by the end of this month, or they don't get paid on the 15th of any personal level. So if you're not certified today, Hey, listen, the best use of your time is not being on this Zoom. It is now that you're here, but you need to get certified. You want to be certified. Someone might get a funding today that you enrolled yesterday and you don't even know it. And on the 15th of the month, you'll get 4% minimum if you're certified. We don't know. There's fundings that are coming in today. There's fundings that applied yesterday and get funded today, and you don't know yet. And the only way you'll know is when you get an email that says, hey, or when you check your back office and you see bonus revenue, or they tell you, hey, I got a client. So don't take a chance. Get certified. You need to be certified by the end of the month. That's part one. Part two, if you've got 3 personally enrolled brokers who are QCBs, meaning they're certified brokers, and it's their first 30 days, or they've gotten 1,000 in bonus revenue in the last 6 months, those are qualified certified brokers. So they're CBs qualified, but they also have the $1,000 or it's their first month. If you have 3 of those, then you get level 2 pay as well. So person enrolled and level 2. Some of you have people on your second generation who your agents recruited them, who you can make some percentage on their funding, but you don't have 3 personally enrolled. Now, if you enroll someone new today and they can become certified by the end of the month, that's 1 certified broker who's a QCB that'll get you qualified for the 15th. So try to recruit 3 new people if you don't already have 3. If you have 6, you get a 3rd level. 12, you get a 4th. 20, you get a 5th. So the more personally enrolled people you have who are certified, the more how you get those 5 levels. Hey, make sure you're qualified for 2 levels and 3 levels and 4 levels. By the end of the month, you always want to be doing this. Last day for February funding special. I'm going to tell you a February funding story in a minute that took advantage of this construction. I'm going to tell you about. So don't forget, we're going to be launching a new March funding special, but February, the trades, today's really the last day to get them in. They can apply Saturday as well, and they'll still count for it. We may not get them the funding till Monday, but they got to apply by Saturday. Also, last chance for national championship qualification. You got to be in the top 64, right? Got to be in the top 64, and then you're in the national championship. And we'll be releasing this. The numbers will be live on Sunday, but we'll be talking about what that means to the 64 who got in. And you want to be in. You want to be in. So between now and then, if you don't already know, if you go to dactraining.com, that's our LMS, and you click on resources, you'll see the national championship. You can click on it, see the rankings. Right now, 150 points gets you into the top 64. I think that's going to change, but if you're near there or if you're brand new today, you can get 150 points. The directions are all in the March Madness overview, and you can see that. And if you want the February funding, you can download that from the resources as well. Okay. So get yourself in that top 64. We've got some real cool, fun things planned for those 64. Our current leader on that is Pather Neff. In fact, I've got it because he's number 1. I said, Pather, let's do a call with your team. So today at 4:00, we're doing a call with Pather and his team privately, and I'm really excited for that. He's earned that. He's got, I think he said he's got near 50 certified brokers this month in his team, all brand new certified. How many others aren't certified? And then he got this unique funding story that took advantage of the February funding special. It just funded yesterday. Check this story out. Number 1, this person was declined last year by us. Okay. They declined last year for irregular funding. Pather didn't know that. Pather reached out to him last week and had him apply. It was separate person, right? He knows him. He reached out to him and the gentleman applied, but he got declined right away. Revenue too low. He only did $5,000 in the month of January. Decline. Pather calls me and he says, hey, Dave, is there anything we can do? You talked about seasonality. You talked about this. Is there anything we can do to help this client? Because he's doing almost $600,000 a year, but he had a rough January. I'm like, probably not. But I tell you what, email all 12 months. If he says it's seasonality and February is real big and he can show that, send it in. Sometimes Wade's team pulls out some magic tricks, right? So just send 12 months bank statements to Wade. Have the client send 12 months bank statements to Wade at bankbreezy.com. Just send them. I forgot to tell Wade. Okay. And Pather got on it. He got those things sent over the next day. Wade just, he didn't need direction. He saw 12 months came into him, looked it up and realized they were declined for internal decline for not having enough revenue in the month of January. So, you know what? I'm going to make some calls. They're doing $500,000 a year. They got a great February. Maybe there's something to do here. And he called one of our hardest lenders to get approved that on deck lending. And he said, hey, I got a unique situation. And they said, let me get my supervisor. They love you, Wade. You're always doing good stuff. Let me get them. They got the supervisor. And that person said, listen, do not use the portal. Don't use the regular way. This is what I want you to do. I want you to do ABC. And this is only because it's you, Wade. Heather has no clue of this. I have no clue of this. I didn't even know he sent the statements yet. All I know is Pather, who cared enough to say, David, is there anything we can do? Because they got all this revenue. Send 12 months in. Wade, because he cares, took it and made some calls. And from those calls, got a special Wade. They said, let him give it a look. And they said, we got to have a special document signed because this person's applied a few different people over the last year, and we've always declined them. But Wade, because you got 12 months, because you're talking to him, because you feel it's a good package, we'll look at it. Come on now. No, it's gone. We'll look at it. No, it doesn't always happen this way. Wade saw some things in this package that he thought could make it a good package for the rest of the year, just a bad January. Not only did they get an approval, they got an approval for $35,000 with online checkout, 25% discount, core rate, and the person got the funding an hour and a half later. Because of the annual revenue, they overlooked the poor January because they saw February was back up and they believe they can afford the payment. They understand why January is what it was. Now, that's the first for us. That is the first for us in our history. Pather, I'm glad it happened for you because I know how hard you're out there reaching out to clients and reaching out to new brokers, and you're being a great leader for your team. And I loved our conversation. So I couldn't be happier to see that this worked out for you. And Wade, Bank Breezy team, thank you so much for going the extra mile. I mean, this is an example of extra mile, who went the extra mile, Pather reached out, got an application. The person was already declined in the past, got an instant decline this time because under $10,000 or under $15,000 in January. Pather didn't, he said, is there something there? And he's fairly new to the funding side. So it's like, if he wasn't new, he'd probably go, oh, sorry, can't do anything for you. That's what I would have said. But fortunately, everything was falling right in line. He said, is there anything we can do? And I you know what? You can try to get 12 because sometimes seasonality matters. It had nothing to do with seasonality. Last January did really well. But Wade's team went to work and got a unique thing. So what does that do? That doesn't mean go after a bunch of people who have less than $10,000 or $20,000. Not that. But if someone is doing $500,000 a year and they have a bad month, we now know that if they've got a high personal FICO score, we've got a couple lenders that we've approached about this now and said, hey, this is what On Deck did for us. Is there anything you could do? If in a similar situation, they're taking a chance. Would you like to be considered on these? Because up to now, we just decline them. If they're not doing the monthly minimum revenue that you say you need, we just decline them. But what if they have a good FICO and high revenue? Will you look at them? And we've got a couple others who said, we'll look at it. Yeah, send it. We'll consider it. If On Deck's doing it, we'll consider it. So Wade, thank you, buddy. Pather, thank you. Pather, thank you. Wade, thank you. I'm so happy that client got the funding that quick. And thanks for going the extra mile and not just taking the declines we've had on them and accepting it. Made a special call that turned into a special funding and for a special guy. And I couldn't be happier. So that is the funding story that I wanted to talk about that happened yesterday. This is what I want to talk about next, guys, as we move into the content I want to talk about for the broker update today. And I'm going to go through this pretty quick. Investment mentality. You've heard this before. If you've never heard this, then you want to know about this. It's called the rule of 72 in finance. And it says divide the rate of return that you're getting on your investments and divide that into 72. That'll tell you how long it'll take for your money to double. Example, if you're getting 12% a year in the stock exchange, which is normal over time in the stock exchange, if you have a diverse stock portfolio, some are making a lot more than 12 and their money doubles in a year or two, but some aren't doing 12 and their numbers take longer to double. But if it's 12, then whatever you have in investment takes 6 years. You see that? 72 divided by 12, 6 years. Why is this important? Well, investment mentality says if you invested $1,000, and by the way, with this Trump plan that he's talking about doing, their government's going to give you 1,000 every year that you put 1,000 in. So look what happens if you put it in the stock market, just that match. After 36 years, it's 64 grand. You go, well, what's that? Well, if you're 20 years old and start this, when you're 56, $1,000 is 64 grand. And you know what happens if you go to 42 years? 128 grand. And you know what happens if you go to 48 years? 256 grand. And you know what happens if you go to 54 years? $500,000, $1,000 becomes $500,000 by the time you're in your 70s. If you just set it and forget it, you're not investing every year. You do it one time. You see how good this can be for a retirement plan that they're talking about doing this? Most people aren't taught this. Most people don't get a 401k to do it. And the government's matching this 1,000. You put in 2, they're going to be matching 1,000. It's not live yet. And until the government does it, you do it yourself, right? You can do an IRA. You can do other ways to do it. But here's what I wanted to show you. You get $1,000 commission. It's not $1,000. You know, I'm talking to Marlo and I are looking at some shutters for our back window. And I'm like, what is the, $7,900 for shutters? I'm not looking at 7,900. I'm looking at 16 grand in 6 years. I'm looking at 32 grand in 12 years. I'm looking at 64 grand in 18 years. I'm looking at 128,000 in 24 years. That's what I'm giving up to buy shutters. Because I have an investor mentality. I'm not spending money. I'm investing money. When I take my commission checks and spin them into my investment accounts, which I do weekly, I'm not looking at 5,000 that I transfer over. I'm looking at that 5 could become 40 in the next 20 years. So I'm not putting 5 grand in. I'm putting 40 in, right? So because that's an investor's mentality. Now, if it goes down, you don't care. It's going to do this. It's going to go up and down. Well, why am I showing you this? Because when you build a team, I had dinner with a gentleman last night and I said, I don't care if it's GAC or where it is. Will you please get yourself involved in a company where you can build an agency? Because once you push the ball over, you've got compounding growth, exponential growth of your agency, and you can't stop it from producing exponential revenue. And if you just made $1,000 a month, look at it. What if you took 1,000 and put it in an investment account every month because it's extra part-time money? Look what that turns into. Don't look at it as just $1,000. And when you take that $1,000 vacation, make sure you enjoy it because you're giving up 64 grand 36 years from now. I'm not saying everyone's going to get 12%, but don't look at what something costs. Look at what something costs. The opportunity cost of it being an investment. $500, this furnace behind me here in this room behind me, which fortunately I can't hear, it's brand new. The guy presented me several furnaces and one furnace was 2 grand less than the other and the other one was 2 grand less than that. So I'm like, you're showing me one grand furnace, it's $4,000 less than another. And you're saying it's equivalent to what I have now that I've had 28 years in my house and I won't hear it and it's high efficiency. And so I can save 4 grand. I said, do you understand when I look at 4 grand, I'm not looking at 4,000. I'm looking at 4,000 doubles in 6 years. That's 8,000. That's 16,000 in another 6 years. And that's 32,000 in another. So it's not 4 grand more. It's 32,000 more when I'm 70. Right. So I'll take the stripped down one. Thank you. It's good. It's equivalent to what I've got. I'll take that. You have an investor mentality. Well, why am I saying this? Come on now. This is why. If you work part-time building an agency, hey, you can go get clients yourself. You're going to get renewals. That's good. But work part-time with DAC. Intentional though. And have a team of 200 team members who just do 20 fundings a month. With a $500 average override that you're earning, and you're making $10,000 a month. I don't know how long it's going to take you to have 200 people. I don't care if it takes you 10 years. If it took you 10 years to have a team producing 20 fundings a month, is that okay? Because it's generating 10,000 a month. That's business ownership. Do you know I could leave DAC today? Obviously, the corporation's got to be taken care of. And I'll make a check with a comment in it every week, maybe even 5-figure check every week, just from the production of the team. I can't stop that. I'd have to tell you all you're not allowed to work here anymore. You're not allowed to do ADAC. One day you'll have a team doing this. So what does 10,000 look like? What if you just made 10,000 one time this year and invested it? If you're 30, when you're 66, it's worth 640 grand. Don't look at a team as, well, I may make an override. That, man, you're missing it. If you don't see compounded growth of a team, how a team turns into a lot of fundings. And what happens when that 200 people have those 20 fundings? You can't stop it from becoming 300 and 400 and 500. Now, I will tell you, it takes effort to find a team that will produce. It takes effort. Well, I recruited 10 people. They didn't produce. I'm quitting. Okay. You don't have an investor's mentality. You have a spending. I spent some time and didn't get paid. Okay. You can have that kind of mindset, but you'll never build a successful business then, because you always think you got to get paid now. What did Dell do? Dell became a billionaire doing what Ellen said, right? And everybody takes time. I'm listening to a training right now by Gino Wickman, who's my former neighbor, and he wrote a book called Traction, EOS, Entrepreneur Employments or Entrepreneur Operating System, EOS, very popular. Consultants use it all over the country. He lives in my neighborhood. He wrote the book right here, sitting in the house, and he's now lives somewhere else. But long and short is, I was talking to him last week, and so I was listening to his book called E-Leap, and he says, I tell everyone 10-year plan. If you got a less than a 10-year plan, you don't have commitment. Have a 10-year plan. It's never gonna go as well as you hope, but in 10 years from now, you will, as long as you stay on it and you have an investor's mentality and you're constantly modifying, you're constantly improving. 10 years from now, you will have a business producing the income that gives you freedom. 10 years. Well, that's a long time, Dave. Really? You spent 4 years in college and you spent 4 years in high school. That's 8. And then you spend a few years jumping job to job to job. And before long, you've got 20 years in a career. Some of you got 30, some of you got 40, right? 10 years is nothing. And by the way, you can get a team producing 20 fundings in 10 months here. 20 fundings a month, maybe even 2 months if you can build the right team. So look at your team as giving you, as an investor mentality. Everyone you recruit is potentially 500 new recruits, 500 new agents. They may be nobody. They may be 500 agents who only produce 10 fundings a month. Okay, 10 fundings at 500, right? So you want to invest time. And so I'm going to go through this quick. Enrolling a new agent is not success. Launching that new agent right is success. If you don't see that between now and the end of the month, you can make the national championship by recruiting some certified brokers, you got to know you can. Our goal isn't just to sign people up, it's to help them get activated, get trained, start having conversations that lead to funding and team growth. What I said to that gentleman, I'm going to say to you, if you're not focused on building an agency right now, you don't fully understand the impact. I got a client a couple weeks ago, but I didn't get one this week. I got one I told to wait. Talk to your bank. Make sure it's not going to affect your ability to get that big $2 million loan. So he's talking to his bank today and he'll let me know. So I didn't get a client this week, but I still made a lot of money this week. And last week I got a client, got a nice commission, but I made more in my team overrides than on my own personal commission. And a week before that, I didn't get a client, but I made a lot of money that week. And a week before that, didn't get a client, made a lot of money that week. If you don't have that yet, that's okay. You will if you don't quit. And if you have an investor's mentality. If you're out there talking to new brokers, if you're out there talking to people who may want to become a broker, if you're out there talking to clients, if you're supporting, if you want to build a team that grows with or without you, the key isn't hype or charisma, it's clarity and consistency. What's that word say? Consistency. When I was a kid, there was you've all seen overpasses where you have a road that goes over a freeway. When I was a kid, right outside our neighborhood, we had an overpass that went over a freeway. And if I wanted to drive my bike to the bike store, I had to climb that overpass. And back then they were little BMX bikes, little sprockets, little 20-inch wheels. And, you know, climbing that hill on a 20-inch sprocket was not easy, but we were biking all the time. So we could do it. But man, we had to get up on our pegs. We call it getting up on your pegs, stand up and pedal that puppy. You got to get up that hill. Go, 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 go. And it's tiring. And every time we talk about going to the bike store, dude, you really feel like climbing a hill? You really feel like climbing a hill? You really feel like, yeah, you were going to climb the hill, because then you fly down the other side. That's what building a team is. You got to pedal, man. And I'm not saying pedal sales. I mean, grind your bike, get on those pegs and get after it. You don't have to kill your marriage. You don't have to not go to your kids' games. You don't have to not be a coach. You get to do all that stuff still. But this fits. This fits if you make it fit. Follow our system. Here you go. Step one, list. Start with your local phones. And by the way, this is the agency expansion training modules are far expand on this. I'm just going through this real quick. If you could only recruit 10, who would they be? Start there. Start simple. Reach out and see if someone's open to side income helping business owners. So you're just sorting. You're never convincing. You're never selling. I write this down. Share what you believe. You'll attract people who believe what you believe. That's simple. And you'll repel people who don't believe it. What do I mean by that? I love helping business owners. I think they're rock stars. I want to get them the capital to grow. 6 and 10 are breaking even or losing money. 4 and 10 could use money today. They're not going to tell me that, but I know that statistically that's the truth. So I just want them to be comfortable with me and know that I got their back. So I'm going to get the word out. And I'm looking for some other people who want to get the word out to help them. If you want to help business owners and you want to help the banks who got to say no, and you want to start informing some people, we can get them capital, best offer, man, you should consider being a broker. I believe they're rock stars. I want to help them. Not for them. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. Not for them. I'll think about it. Not for them. Maybe, send me some information. Might be for them. Probably not. When you go, really? You can get a business funding? You're kidding. 6 out of 10 are break. What? 4 and 10? Yeah, for them. There you go. Well, I got to sign up. Yeah, they're not interested though. Well, they joined. Yeah, but they're not interested. Attract people who are interested. Don't count people who aren't. What's the number? 80% of the, I'm sorry, 8% of the people who pay for a health club use it. 8%. Could you own a Planet Fitness with those numbers? I'd have a hard time taking those $24. It's only $24 a month, David. I know, but 90% don't use it. But you still got to have the beautiful equipment. You still got to clean the place. You got to light the place. Got to have all those tanning beds. Someone's got to pay for them. Otherwise, you can't offer it. They get to use it. They're choosing not to. They get to build DAC. They're just choosing not to. They get to have a website. They're just choosing not to. They're signed up, but they're not doing anything. Hey, it's always here for them. But we're not for them until they engage. Planet Fitness isn't for me until I use it. It's waiting for me. Doors are always there. It's waiting for me. Send one of these tools. Here's the thing. When I talk to people, there's some people on right now that I recruited this past week. I sent them the first one, 4-minute video, David Allen Capital /partner. And I even said to him, hey, I got a 4-minute video I'll send you. It happens to be me. Take a look at it. If you like what you hear, let's talk further. And then I sent him the partner overview one, the next one, which is 26 minutes. It's actually 23 minutes long. Okay. Once they join, have them read their welcome letter. The biggest problem people have when joining is they don't realize they're putting a username in that's already taken, and then it won't let them move on, and they think something's wrong and something's broken, and it's not. It says username already taken, select a new username. It's where they, right after their davidallencapital.com / they can enter a member name they want to have. And if it's already taken, it says that. Get certified, pretty simple. It sets standards, it qualifies for higher pay, and it qualifies for enroller commissions. Then go through the funding training. It helps them get customers, then do a game plan call, as Ellen talked about, and then launch for clients. All the outreach methods are talked about in the training. Do it the right way, warm market first. One-to-one warm market, one-to-many, your chamber associations. I will tell you, one-on-one coffees are generating more leads for me than anything I've ever done. That's all I'm going to tell you. So I'll keep proving that out, but I recommend you all do it. All right. And then go through the comp plan training so you understand all that. Go through the agency expansion training. We've touched on it here. Subscribe at dacleader.com. If you're not on dacleader.com, you didn't get our 10 email chain on how to lead a local market. You sign up, you get the journey sent to you. It's the only way to get it. Sign up at dacleader.com. You'll get that journey. And then, as Ellen always says, stay plugged in. All right. Daily huddles, broker updates, team events, Facebook community engagement. And last thing I'll say as we move in, you can duplicate success by doing it the right way. And as you teach people to plug into the system and you stay consistent, they'll stay consistent. That's not managing, that's leading. Just be an encourager. That's how your team grows. That's how your income grows and multiplies. So here's your game day plan for the next 48 hours to see by month end. All right. Team building, recruit like it's draft day. What does that mean? You find you don't just add people, you're building a championship team. You're looking for a good person. You got a mindset like I'm a coach. I want to find the people that are coachable. I want to find people that want to do it, not just are capable, but they got the hustle, they got the heart, they're coachable. What do I want beside me on fourth and who do I want besides me on 4th and 1 in a football game? Who do you want beside you? Right? Those are the teammates you want in this. And 2 more slides and we're done. Where are you to look? Current B2B workers, gig workers who want more, servers at your restaurant, coaches, barbers, stylists, parents, accountants, CPAs, attorneys, anyone, mortgage brokers, anyone already calling on businesses, or anyone with grit and goals, right? What to say? Hey, we're building something big. Share what you believe. Whatever it is you believe, share it. No pressure. You don't need a full roster. You just need a few teammates who show up, plug in, run the play, go to those huddles. And when you do, that'll start to compound. And when you have that, you've got an investment that's compounding faster than money compounds. All right. So reach out to 3 people who you'd want to add on your team. Send that invitation, send them the videos, video pages, and follow up and invite them to the Zoom next Tuesday night if they're not already part of the team. I covered a lot. I get it. It's on video. You can watch it again, but I can't express enough to all of you. The only thing better than time value of money and compounded interest is a compounding team. That's the only thing better because it compounds faster than compounding interest. It compounds multiples faster. And it doesn't matter if only 8% are productive. Last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to go to your questions. 8% of the people in a health club use it. 100% pay for it. 15% of the people in the real estate industry will sell a home. 12 to 13% will sell 85% of the homes. 6 to 7% will sell 60% of the homes. The top 6 or 7% do most of the sales. We're not going to change that. You're going to recruit 100 brokers and 50 of them aren't going to get a client, but they may recruit someone who gets a client, or they may recruit someone who gets a client. We don't know. And they may get a client. We can't say they won't. We give them all the opportunity to, but if they're not going to do their part, we can't promise anything, even if they do. I can't promise if you go to Planet Fitness, you're going to get in shape. What are you doing when you're there? I can't promise if you try in DAC, you're going to do well. I can't promise that. It depends on what you do and how long you do it and how you course correct what you're doing when you're doing it wrong, right? You can do it wrong. You can turn people off. You can have commission breath and people feel it and they won't, even if they need funding, they won't apply with you. They'll just go, hey, I should apply. I didn't know there was working capital. I'm going to go online and look for a way to apply. I'm not going to use her. She just wants my money. I'm not going to use him. He's totally pushing me. Totally trying to sell me. I'm not interested in that. Nobody wants to be sold. Marlo and I went to look at some furniture the other day and we get a couple reading chairs. We walk in this place and it just immediately, I'm like, I'd rather shop at Amazon. I'd rather buy it at Amazon and return it. I don't want to be sold. Get away from us. Get away from where we're looking. We want to sit in some chairs. We don't need you doing that thing. Now there's pros in there who don't do that, but the next one up, they're up, they got ups. They go in order, and we came in, and the person was fairly new, and they're just annoying. What's your number? What's your number? Give me your number. Give me your number. We left there, and Marlo's like, I wish I wouldn't have given my number. I just wish I wouldn't have given my number because now I'm going to, you just feel sold. You think we'd buy furniture from her? Never. We wouldn't buy it from that person. And guess what? Some of our brokers are behaving that way. Don't behave that way. Follow our training. Meet, greet, inform, educate. That's all you do. And if it's the right fit, you got their back. You don't talk them into it. I told my client yesterday, I told him, call your bank tomorrow before you take this offer and tell him what we got you offered and ask him if it's going to affect your big loan that you're working for. You may not get it for 2 months from them, but it may affect your loan. So find out. He was like thankful. That made him feel good. You think he's not going to be referring others? If he doesn't take this funding, I'm okay. I'm okay if he doesn't. If he shouldn't, then he shouldn't. Right. But if they go, no, take it. And this is people who refer each other both ways. I said, tell them what we got you approved for and how it only took us an hour. And ask them if it'll affect your ability to get approved. And if it will, don't take the money. And if it won't, take the money. It's that simple. And so that's where he's at. He's talking to the bank today. That's called investment into your client. All right. I'm investing long term. I know that'll turn into 5 or 6 referrals, and the bank manager will go, thanks, Dave, for cautioning him. Most people would have told him, it won't affect you. Take the 180. Take it. Especially in a national championship. David, you already got a bunch of points. Take it. Move up that ladder. Come on, man. Don't do that type stuff. I get it. There's been a time in my life when I needed to earn, and I'd like to think I was doing the best for people, but I'd also, encourage something that helped me if I thought it wouldn't hurt them. I don't do that anymore. I'm encouraging you to be a pro and don't do those type things. So this turned into a little bit of a training for a reason. It's month end. Broker updates. Sometimes this is the only time you guys watch trainings. You got to plug into the LMS. And I'd get recertified again if I were you. Even if you're already certified, do it again. Takes 3 hours more. I get it, but it gets you another 12 months of certified. You don't have to worry about it. It resets your 12 months. So you don't have to, it's not based on your anniversary date anymore. So it used to be your renewal was your anniversary. That renews you for 12 more months and it certifies you. And we're always updating things a little bit. You see the latest and greatest certification. You're reminded of things you probably forgot. I know that because I get asked questions by people who are certified and it's in the certification training. So they obviously forgot. So do it again. Do it again. And build your team to do it again. This press going into the weekend is an opportunity for you to end your month strong, help position some people, encourage everyone in your team to be qualified by the end of the month, certified. It's what you want to reach out to them for because you never know. If they got a teammate, that person might be getting a funding today and they wouldn't get their 4% if they're not certified. So they got to get themselves certified. All right. I'm done with that. I hope you feel and grasp. I hope you understand the value of an agency team and climbing the personal customer ladder so you get bigger override spreads. And I hope you're shooting for the national championship. 150 points get you in right now. Maybe it'll be 200, but that's 4 certified brokers. And you are 4 completed apps, whatever it is can get you in. It's all new only. It doesn't count all my old stuff or Ellen's old stuff. It's got to be new production, brand new people from the 15th of the month on, new clients, new brokers. None of the old brokers you're working with count. They don't count toward your points. So as I've said before, there's people making nice checks who aren't going to make the top 64. They're still getting paid off their teams well, but they didn't do new production yet over the last couple of weeks. So they're not in the top 64. So you could do it. You could be brand new and do it. So get after it. Don't give up. Shoot for it. Shoot for it. Shoot for it. We got some neat things planned for the first 64, including some things we've never given out before. So you want to be one of the 64 or more. All right. And if there's a tie, then we'll have 67 go in. So if 62nd place is 150 points and there's 7 people who got it, then there's going to be 69 who move forward. We're not going to cut it off at the one. If you're tied for something in the top